Imagine it for a second. You're walking down the road in the middle of a forest. Everything is quiet, peaceful, serene. Not a soul in sight, not an animal to hear. Nothing. It's just you and that long, winding road. You have a backpack full of stuff, a gun on your back. This life you're living right now, it's a good one. You're content. You have everything you need to survive, but will it keep you safe from the unexpected?
God damn it.
It's this one moment. It's this screen that you dread the most. 1 second, you're minding your business, cutting down a tree, drinking some water from a fountain, and the next, you're dead. You may not even hear the bullet that hit you, or the person that snuck up behind you in the bush, but he was there, waiting, watching. You just didn't know it, but you felt it. In the back of your mind, you always felt it. That itch, that scratch that you just couldn't get to. And that is called paranoia. And that is what makes DayZ so hauntingly perfect. Now, DayZ. If you're familiar with my channel, you're probably familiar with the game. DayZ is an open-world sandbox survival horror video game created by the developers over at Bohemia Interactive, known for creating games like the Arma series, which is a series I know for charging me $10 so I can use helicopters and tanks in a military simulation game. It was from this series that we got probably one of the most innovative survival games ever made, the DayZ mod for Arma 2, which was created by Dean Hall. This was a free modification for Arma 2 and its DLC Operation Arrowhead, which saw a bunch of players get placed into the map of Chernarus to survive in a zombie apocalypse. Players could fight for resources, kill Zeds, build bases, and generally explore the land in a setting that had pretty much never really been done before, especially not to the extent that DayZ went. DayZ was a phenomenon when it dropped, both for the gameplay, setting, and all that jazz, but especially when it came to the interactions it created between players. Players could kill each other, talk to each other, form alliances, break alliances, make clans, make giant bases. The entire world was pretty much open to all these people, and they did whatever they could to ensure either they stood on top, their friends stood on top, or everyone stood on top, and the weaklings died. But it's the players of DayZ which make the survival horror tag that the game is associated with make so much sense. And that is through the art of Paranoia. To me, paranoia is a key ingredient to making good horror. When you want to make horror, you want to make people scared. You want to make them terrified. You don't want to just show them a jump scare, make them jump in their seat, and then continue that process for 30 more times for the rest of the duration of your movie or TV show or, God forbid, video game, looking at you Five Nights at Freddy's. And while horror can come from many things, like monsters threatening the lives of the main characters, or, an apocalyptic event that everyone's preparing for, and is essentially, just kind of waiting for the inevitable. There is another aspect of horror that is a lot more common in many such films, especially ones tackling monsters, zombies, aliens, that sort of thing. And that is the human aspect. The idea of you and your fellow man struggling to trust one another, to keep each other alive while caring about your own interests and them caring about theirs. And you never quite know if they're gonna hurt you or help you. They could do both, they could do neither. Either way, you're always paranoid about your fellow man's intentions in any apocalyptic situation.
You're a fucking idiot.
And it's this sense of paranoia for your fellow man which I think DayZ nails fucking perfectly. It ties in with the multiplayer aspect very much. You're in a world with 60 other people, maybe more if you're on a modded server, and every time you run into a person, it's something different. You could run into someone who wants to trade, someone who wants to run with you, someone who wants to do some looting, someone who just wants to talk, or, most of the time, someone who doesn't give you the time of day and will probably just put a bullet in your head and send you back to the coast. But it's not just the interactions themselves that can be tense. The idea of thinking, oh man, is this guy gonna kill me? Is this guy gonna talk to me? What's this guy gonna do? It's more so the aftermath as well that comes after it, whatever interaction you have. Mostly the negative ones in this case. If you get shot too many times, you're waking back up at the beach, you're doing the loop over and over again, dying, living, repeat. Things start to happen in your head. You start to feel something. That experience you get starts making you paranoid. Every single subsequent life, every single time you wake up on that beach and start heading inland, you're going to start thinking, overthinking. You're going to be thinking about everything you see, hear, and think you hear. Walking through the woods, you might hear some twigs snap in the distance. You might think it's another person. You turn around, you see nothing. It's dead at night, you're walking through a city. You see something on the street. Is it a person? A player? No, just a Zed. Still equally probably as terrifying, but still, you thought it was a person, because people end up becoming the most dangerous things in the apocalypse. You'll hear gunshots in the distance, and you'll start to think, do I want to go to those gunshots, or do I want to run away and preserve my own life? You'll straight up probably do what I do and have actual, hallucinations, actual auditory hallucinations, where you'll be walking down a road, everything's quiet, not a soul in sight, and you'll swear that you hear a second set of footsteps behind you, player footsteps just walking along behind you. You'll turn around, you'll see nothing there. It gets that bad. The game's social aspects mixed with its permadeath features makes this just absolutely constant when it comes to being a issue that you have to worry about while playing the game. After dying so many times, it really does become just a part of the process. You will be paranoid about absolutely everything around you. There could be someone in the trees, there could be someone in a house you see down a street. A random bullet could just hit you out of nowhere and take you to the game over screen and you would never know where it came from. DayZ really is just full of all kinds of possibilities when it comes to scaring and killing you. It's just something that never leaves your mind, and it manifests in a lot of different ways. Notably, for me and many others, it manifests in gear fear. Gear fear is simply the feeling of not wanting to lose your shit. That's it. That's pretty much the general idea of gear fear. This usually manifests in a lot of different ways. Notably, you'll probably have a base or a little camp somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, and you'll just spend all your time there with all your gear on you because you don't want to go out in public and lose this. There's a chance that you could be walking through Cherno or some random town, and your screen goes black, you're dead, and that's it. Everything's gone. You have to go grind for another 6 hours to find all that. It's really something that I think a lot of DayZ players will undergo at least a few times in their life playing the game. It's something that can be worked on, don't get me wrong. You can work through gear fear, you'll get the idea that, most of the time, a lot of the stuff you'll have, it's not that hard to get, it's just a matter of getting to the places where that stuff appears. So, it's not really more so the idea of finding that stuff again, it's more the idea of, I don't want to run another 4 hours across the map to get another backpack or a gun. That's annoying. But then again, this comes back to the danger and the paranoia you'll feel, because you'll be going back into the looting cycle, and again, you'll be feeling all these emotions as you go through places like military bases or industrial areas looking for important stuff. Military bases especially, because a lot of the times, these places have great vantage points for snipers or bandits who are just looking to take someone out for sport. Maybe they won't take your stuff or anything, but they will definitely, take any opportunity they can to take someone out if they get someone in their crosshairs. So you'll be going through a place like Tizzy or Northwest Airfield, and you're constantly feeling like you're being watched. Run, wrong move, and you'll be on the ground, black screen, you'll see you are dead on the screen, and you'll be back at the beach. Every time I play, every run I do, I get put through all kinds of emotions. Anger, happiness, sadness, but most importantly, paranoia. I am constantly looking behind myself. I am constantly looking around. Being aware of my surroundings is keeping me alive, and it'll keep you alive, especially if you're out in the wilderness. You always gotta be aware of that next rooftop sniper, that guy walking up behind you with a knife who says he's friendly and wants to share his food, or that one guy who is innocently fishing, because you don't know what he could be fishing up. He could be fishing up a gun. He could fish up an AK out of the water and blow your fucking head off. I mean, you can't actually do that in-game. That would be funny as fuck, but you can't actually do that, so maybe don't worry about the fisherman. If anything, kill him before he kills you. The paranoia DayZ drives you to want to be self-defending. It wants you to defend yourself against threats. Human, Zeds, animals, all those things. All these things can kill you, and that paranoia builds up to where eventually you are not taking any chances. You'll probably see a person. This person doesn't look threatening, probably just got off the beach, has no weapons or anything, but you don't know that. You want to be safe, so preemptively, you're probably going to kill him on sight. You're not going to give him a chance to talk. And before you even realize it, you have just repeated the cycle. Before, you probably weren't one to kill on sight. You were probably one to give people a chance. But now, that paranoia, that fear, has built up to the point where you have become the killer. You have become the one that is causing all of the fear. And because of that, you are forcing someone else through that same cycle. And eventually, because of that, another killer will form. And then another, and then another, and then another. That is what paranoia does to you in DayZ. I want to thank you all for watching. This video was definitely interesting to make. I'm sorry if the dialogue sounded a little bit off. This was, I'm gonna be so honest, this was totally unscripted. The idea was there, but the script was not. I apologize. I got very lazy during the production of this, so no script, but I think, you get the general idea. I love DayZ. I love the emotions that it puts me through, and I just wanted to make a little video expressing my love for that. Is it great? Probably not, but, it is what it is. I think I got my message out pretty well, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side, and whenever that is, I will see you then. Peace out. Sorry about that. Peace out.
Got up this morning, was thinking about man and boning, about spanking, wanking and moaning, how pussy can get me floated. Use teeth when blowing, he got me gagging and choking, inserted in like a token, he's taking over my focus, feel like Charlie in his chocolate factory with all